Okay. Jim, could you repeat the last part of your statements? I apologize.
I don't know if I'll tell you where I left off. Is that the question was, what about the best? Okay. Literally from the 1920s through in the last law that I found in case law, Illinois Supreme Court or Health Court nations, is that a vendor that deals with the government is presumed to know what they're doing as a matter of law, and that they enter into agreements to work for the government and contract with the government at their own peril. I mean, that goes to contacting the proper person in the government to actually execute and approve contracts, to, in this case, as to knowing that there's a bidding requirement before you sell salt to a government. I would find it hard to believe that Compass Material could say, we didn't know we had to participate in the bidding process to sell salt to the government. Because if they're a vendor that sells salt and they sell it to any government, they know they have to go through a bid. Either it's a state bid, McHenry County's McDOT did a bid, Lake County Department of Transportation did bidding. You know, several townships actually did their own. Some municipalities either purchased through the state or the counties, or they have actually done some of their own bids. So basically, the vendor is operating at his own risk, and they should know that. And that's what the law has been from the 20s till the current day. So.
But I think Trustee Chairman's biggest concern is this township has always been known to pay the bills 100% on time and always done that.
Well, as an aside, I mean, this vendor delivered salt that's been used. Unfortunately, we are not liable for the township or the road district isn't liable for the payment of that salt that on a contract that was unlawfully entered into, or at least not following the law was entered into.
And this is a pretty big corporation, right?
I don't know how big it is.
Okay, but they did salt even.
I'm sure they have. I mean, it would seem to me.
Okay, so there are neighboring townships that he could go to and purchase salt
That's
at
right.
a more reasonable price, correct?
Well, I don't know what they would sell it
Salt to
for,
now.
but I know what they purchased it for, and as you all know, we're in court this morning on this issue.
Right.
And I presented Judge Meyer with the affidavits of our adjacent township, London Township. That highway commissioner said if he was asked, and Algonquin needed salt because they were out and they needed to help keep their roads clear, he had sufficient supplies to sell them some. Or he would, if he didn't have funds, he would lend it to them. So all he has to do is go to them, and then we have to be repaid at some point.
Right.
Or lend it to him, and then when the road district receives salt, give that salt back to Nunda. McHenry Township Highway Commissioner said the exact same thing.
That's right.
But they weren't contacted. McDOT told me yesterday that they had never been contacted by Mr. Gasser to ask if he could borrow salt or buy salt.
Cuba.
I don't know if Cuba's been contacted, but it's my understanding they have a huge amount of salt. I know they have more than sufficient salt to meet their needs right now. Yeah, so it's out there and it could be obtained. It's a matter of going out and coordinating with that unit of government. I mean, I don't know, we may have municipalities that have salt there. Eula Township in Lake Zurich, I know they have a huge salt facility. And they're right bordering also Algonquin.
Mhm.
So they're also out there and they have salt, so it could be acquired. Yes.
So I actually have something to say. So this bill is actually something, these bills with Compass Minerals are actually something that have me conflicted. Because on one hand, Compass Minerals has threatened and probably will sue for, to obtain the payment of that six-figure purchase that was already delivered back in October. That did not go through the competitive bidding process. And I think that adding to the already ridiculous amount of litigation and with more attorney's fees, yet more attorney's fees, is not, certainly not in the best interest of our taxpayers. And yet, on the other hand, Andrew Gosser, through his attorney and otherwise, even admits in court documents that the six-figure salt purchase was improperly bid or that thereof. And I almost feel as though it could be a breach of my oath of office if I were to condone it. Then we also have the attempt to remedy it, which you touched on, Attorney Kelly, with the December bid letting. But that, again, was contingent upon the immediate payment of the six-figure payment, which was not lawfully bid. So we have kind of a catch-22 here. And I also think that it's interesting that the December bid, which he actually did properly bid, for what that's worth. I think it's interesting that the only bidder was Compass Minerals at the same price that he originally purchased improperly. So although this is a very difficult decision, and I have conferred with Attorney Kelly in person as outside of the meeting as well, he has opined that the December lawful bid cannot be lawful if it was contingent upon payment of an improper prior contract. So, and although I do believe that the Highway Commissioner's actions in and outside of court on this topic may have been motivated in some way by the seeming, it seems like a war he's waging on this board. But all personalities aside, I think it may also be a manifestation of maybe an attempt to avoid taking responsibility for his own mistake. But all personalities aside, and weighing all of these aspects, I think it's unfortunate that we as a board can't compel the Highway Commissioner to do anything. Like, since we're separate entities, I believe the proper thing to have done back in October when I first brought it to his attention that it was unlawfully bid, would have been to return the salt, to eat the cost, to return pay the freight to return the salt. And unfortunately, we can't compel him to do that, and he didn't do that. So I'm gonna have to follow our attorney's advice on this one.
I'll offer a live comment from the attorney handling pleading for this morning's court case to support your feeling. The obstructionism, petty and vindictive behavior that has resulted in this action, coupled with refusal to pay lawful bills by the Board of Auditors, leaves the road in a seriously depleted road salt condition. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. And we're doing our job, and we're protecting our taxpayers.
Trustee Chick?
I was gonna say, we have to clear up one thing. There was a bid in December, but that material, the Compass people refused to deliver
Because it was contingent
because they
upon,
want, from the money from the illegal one.
they wanted payment in full of that six-figure purchase from October.
All right, so we have a motion.
No.
Yeah, we do.
You motion
We
to.
have a motion to pull it.
Bill, but I was gonna suggest, my thought, we could get a motion to vote right now, just not to approve that particular item, right? Yeah, so I would.
Hold on a second. We have a motion on the floor to
Propose,
pull Compass Minerals for separate consideration.
right,
We did.
and we
voted on it.
We did. When did we vote? We have a vote. I remember.
okay, let's vote.
Okay, so we're gonna pull it first. Why don't we pull it? It would be easier if you guys pull it like we did last meeting. If you pull the bill and approve it, vote to pull it and approve it. So that then we can pull that out of the amount.
Approve it and then vote no if you're not in favor of it.
Does that make sense like we did last time?
Okay,
So you wanna pull, so the motion needs to be amended to, it's up to you guys. How do we need to do
Why
it,
don't
Jim?
you just because you've made a motion, why don't you, for a second, you vote to pull the bill and then vote on the approval of this bill.
all right, so we need to still vote on pulling the bill?
Okay.
Okay, so roll call on that, please.
I did.
Victor,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Shay,
Yes,
Bledsoe.
Yes, okay. So now both,
there was a second one there.
Now you have to have a motion.
so there's two bills.
There are two bills.
They're the
for-
same though, I mean.
There, right, there are two invoices totaling $107,000.
I'd like to have, receive a motion to either approve or not to approve. Okay. Can we get a motion?
I move to pay the bill of Compass Minerals in the amount of $107,000,
$107,094.
$95.43.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll
Okay. Shay, second?
Yes.
Any discussion on that? No? Okay. So to vote, if you vote yes, you're voting to pay this bill. If you're voting no, you're voting not to pay this bill. So I'd like to have a roll call vote on that.
Victor,
No.
Chapman,
No.
Lawrence,
No.
Shay,
no,
Bledsoe.
No. Okay, motion fails. Now I'd like to get a
motion to approve the remainder.
approve the remainder of the road and bridge fund. I don't have that. Someone took that sheet from me.
We're redoing the number.
Okay, thank you.
Were there any other bills that needed to be pulled?
I think we were all.
No, that's.
we all- we went through that. So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the remaining of the road and bridge fund of $101,103.67.
I make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Okay. Roll call, please.
Victor,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Shay,
Yes,
Bledsoe.
Yes. Okay. All right, so now we have the equipment and building fund, and I'd like to entertain a motion to pass the, audit the bills for the equipment and building fund, for $80,961.51.
Mr. Chairman, I move.
Okay,
second.
got a second, Shay, any discussion? Okay,
Actually, I have discussion.
okay,
So yes, I will be moving to approve these bills. However, I've said it time and time again, there are several invoices that have been in this packet that have missing statements or vice versa that are incomplete. So I'm asking again for Mr. Gasser to please be more diligent about having the proper documents in order, because there are a lot of documents that are not supportive of some of his bills that he wants approved. I do believe that these are legitimate bills. However, there needs to be a better tracking of these bills, and there needs to be proper documentation to support these bills. At every meeting I say it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. So please have everything in order so it makes it easier to go through and justifies what you're spending. That's all I got.
thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, roll call.
Victor,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Shay,
Yes,
Bledsoe.
Yes. Okay, motion carries for $80,961.51. All right, we have, speakers are welcome to address the board for up to a amount of 3 minutes. What's it? Does anyone want to address the board? We have a sign-in sheet. You want to bring it up? But I just want you to know, there's, we don't have any, hard and heavy rules regarding addressing the board. If you just like to stand where you're at, or if you like to go to the podium, you're more than welcome. Sir, I see you got up first, so if you just give us your name and that'd be great.
Okay, my name is Joe Gilbert. I live in ALG Township. The highway department follows the road in front of my house. And I'm getting a little sick and tired of reading everything in the paper, what's going on here. I don't know whose fault it is. I don't believe it's your fault here. But every day, the paper is ridiculous what's going on. We're getting threats, our roads aren't going to be plowed, and we're not going to shut our roads down. What is going on here? How come Gasser isn't here? I just don't understand it. What I'd like to see, if there's something you could do, maybe the next meeting, is kind of have a timeline of what's going on here so we know, because I don't think we're getting the full information from the news source as far as if people are obtaining what's going on. I hear what's going on in Gasser through the news source. I'd like you guys to put something together for us that shows exactly what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Hello, again, I'm up here again. My name's Rich Fay. I'm a business representative with Local 150. We represent the highway department guys over here who plow these roads. Once again, I'm asking, what is going on in ALG Township? We are close to $500,000 in legal bills. We're talking about shutting down roads, not salting roads around here. It's a travesty what's going on with these people's taxpayers' money. Again, we need this to stop. You're the board. You're elected by these people out here to do the right thing. We need this nonsense to stop. We need people that were unjustly fired back to work, and we need to move on here. But again, the taxpayers are the only ones that are getting hurt in this whole situation here. So we need it to stop. Once again, they appealed to the appellate court. They lost on 3 appeals in the circuit court, and now they are appealing to the appellate court on a legal battle that has gone nowhere for them. So we're asking you guys to put an end to this, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Deanna Darling. I'm a resident here in ALG Township. I understand, I appreciate what you guys are doing, keeping on top of this, but your situation you just explained, there's bills in there that you don't agree with, that you don't have proof for. Why are you approving them? You've asked him how many times, he's not producing them. Put them on the side, pull them. Why are we approving this stuff? You know, if he's not gonna abide by what you're asking, it's on him. You know, I'm sick of this, I'm sick of hearing it. We are getting a terrible reputation in this state. It's not good. Something's gotta change, and if it's him, then do it.
My name is Scott Tilley. I was a facility manager here, so I do know what's going on. Behind that wall in 2012, we put some receipts back there. We put those receipts based on the fact that we presumed that the woman right there was going to destroy them. Here. That's what we did. And I scanned them. What I found were Disneyland tickets, Red Wing boots that were purchased for $400. Hooter bill for $500 that you guys approved. Women's clothing, purses.
That was the board before.
These things,
2012, I wasn't in office.
these things were done under the Miller administration.
Karen?
And quite frankly, it sickens me. And that's why I was a facility manager here. You guys argue that Andrew has purchased salt. It's kind of absurd. And it's kind of nitpicky in some ways, because you guys never helped him with those objectives, other alternatives. And that's a problem. Because if he only had one alternative, that was his only choice. And that kind of ticks me off. Now, I signed a contract with Legend Exteriors for $45,000 before I took this job. Some of you guys didn't know that, but that's true. Joe Ward, who's the owner of that company, would confirm that. So, for 9 years, I was with the laborers union. I was a journeyman there. And I could do that job 10 times better than maybe even Andrew or even Ryan Provenzano, for sure. Ryan Provenzano abused me. And that woman right there can testify to that. Because she was the secretary at the time that he was abusing me verbally. It's ridiculous what I've heard here. Some people claim that I was a part of some dossier, which I was not. The dossier, I don't know who put it there. I was a facility manager, and I came in, and I saw a package. And that package was put on Andrew's desk. I don't know who delivered that package. The first time I saw it was in Andrew's office. You guys accused me of things that I did not do. And it ticks me off. You're lucky I don't sue you. You're lucky my family doesn't sue you. But it's true. So, whatever's going on here, behind that wall, right behind that seal over there, is the 2012 receipts. We put cameras in there, and I didn't personally put them, I just opened the door.
Well, let him talk because it's incriminating himself.
I opened the door, and I don't care if it's 3 minutes or not, I'll stand here until I die.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys will listen to me.
You reach your.
These are taxpayers. My father used to tell me when we were driving past here.
Scott,
My father told me when we were driving past here, when I was a kid.
Scott, thank you very much.
I don't care.
My name's Ann Tilson, I'm the resident of Algonquin Township, you can have my name.
Thank you.
No, you can't do that.
Well, that's a shame,
Well, Scott, we appreciate.
because you guys are gonna find out right now how the law is. And it gets me ticked off that you guys let it go for so long.
Next, Scott.
50
Scott,
years.
thank you very much, Scott. Thanks for coming.
I'm done. So you guys will be damn sure if you don't get sued.
Okay.
Good evening and thank you for this time. My name is Nick Chirikas. I'm a resident of Algonquin Township. I'm a former county board member, and I also live on a township road for in excess of 40 years. Mr. Gasser, where are you? What is going on in this township? When I was an employee of the Algonquin Township Road District for about 1 month, you came on as the new road commissioner, and we were all very hopeful that you would take the reins of this institution and do as good a job as Bob Miller did in the 20-some years preceding him. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The very first day that you assumed your position, you fired me, along with two of the most experienced people that work for the road district. That was an unfortunate situation, because ever since that day, the services that are provided by the road district have deteriorated. We've seen multiple instances of the failure of you to do your job to the detriment of the citizens of the township, and also for the safety of our people who use our township roads. Mr. Gasser, I want my job back. This has caused me innumerable harm to me, myself, and my family. And I'm waiting for the day that you can stand before this this meeting, present yourself and defend yourself, instead of hiding from public scrutiny and putting yourself into one litigation situation after another. We're tired of it. We're tired of paying for your litigation. And many of us believe that there is something other than honest mistakes, as his attorney seems to indicate. Some of us think that this is at least partially by design. And we don't want our township road district to fail. We want it to prosper. We want to return to a normal state of affairs. And we need someone to affect that situation. Mr. Gasser, I'm demanding your resignation right now. And if you cannot stand before this committee and defend yourself, then you must step down. Thank you.
Thank you. When you're standing up, I don't want you to stand. Please come up, are you speaking? No, you're on the, doesn't matter.
My name is Luann Majewski. I live near Mr. Sharifos in Algonquin Township, lived there longer than Mr. Sharifos, but was not given any special privileges. I haven't been here for months, and I guess it's same old, we're talking about the bingo, and the salt has been the main topic, I guess. It's not an insignificant amount that you're talking about, over $100,000. I would like you to weigh the amount of this salt, get it paid, get it done, and weigh that against what the township has had to pay private attorneys to respond to FOIAs that are the duty of the elected officials to respond. When you take office, you're the FOIA office. This has been dished off to attorneys to respond to this, respond to that. I would like to see that. It might very well offset a very big problem with this salt bit. The other thing too is that I think the elected officials who are not acting as they should as FOIA officers, they have abrogated their responsibility to take that position. You can't do the job, you shouldn't be sitting there. The other thing is that I'm not here to babysit Mr. Gasser. I don't defend or criticize. Nobody does anything perfectly well, but I could see every meeting I've been at, and not every meeting, you want him to be here so you can beat up on him. If you had done that to Robert Miller, if you had said to Robert Miller, we're not going to approve that bid for those trucks, and I heard it many times, if it's in my budget, I will buy that truck. So don't even, I heard that many times. And if it flew for Robert, too bad it didn't fly for Andrew. But as far as demanding jobs and why are we here, told you from the very beginning. 150 is here because of Robert Miller, not because of you trustees, not because of the citizens of Algonquin Township. So take responsibility for how this all.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ann Majewski. I also live in Algonquin Township. I would like to try to ask the people who sit at the table, the elected officials here, to please use your microphone so we can hear in the back, because we are not hearing clearly what you're saying. And secondly, to try to conduct yourselves not speaking to the people here, making comments, no side comments, and no trying to interpret people's behavior. We just want the facts. We don't want someone psychologizing about why people do what. We just want the facts. I would hope in your discussion tonight regarding the appointment of outside counsel for the supervisor that we will get a clear and comprehensive discussion about it, not presuming that you've already discussed it and we're going to get the abbreviated version of it. So we want to know what the necessity is, what the cost will be. If it's over the bid amount, is a bid going to be put out for attorney's fees, so that we can move forward and understand that. And then lastly, where was anyone sitting on this board when the previous highway commissioner was in office, and when the different issues came up regarding the bills and what was discovered, why was there no outcry? I think obviously we need more oversight, we need to follow the law, but it's disappointing. It's disappointing that we really, we're on a one-track, issue here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Toller, I live up in Wonder Lake. You all know me pretty well at this point. I do find it very disheartening as well, that now we're talking about everything that Bob Miller did. Everything that, when we have something in front of us that needs to be addressed, that needs to be dealt with. The past, yes, it happened. Yes, it needs to be looked into. Yes, it needs to be investigated, but I feel like it's being used as a distraction from the current bad events that are happening. On top of this, I see a news story, very close to when this started, that Gasser's down in Mississippi. He sent in the bills. He can't even be here. I think I live up in Wonder Lake. I've been to more meetings than he has. Somebody needs to be here from his department, if not him, to answer these questions you guys have and to talk on their behalf. If it's not going to be Andrew because he doesn't want to suffer the slings and arrows of public comment or your guys' comment, fine, that's understandable. He's not required to be here, but there should be some representative from his department here to answer questions. And at this point, you got to wonder, is Andrew actually trying to do his job? Instead, he's trying to push through this bid, this payment for salt that was purchased without a bid, with legal action, instead of trying to solve the problem in any multitude of other ways. At this point, is there anything that the citizens of Algonquin Township can do to rectify this? Beyond, yes, I'm not one, thank you. But you know what? Thanks for interrupting. Is there anything that the citizens of Algonquin Township can do in order to resolve this, to move past this beyond what the board can do? Thank you.
Thank you.
There was a Mr. Nolan. Did you want to speak, or did you not speak? No. Okay. Mr. Roby. Okay, you're okay. Okay, so this is the people who sign up for the sign-up sheet, but anyone's welcome to speak. If you would like to speak from your chair, please do so. If you would like to come up to the podium, you can. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? No, 3 minutes. Oh, okay. We have trustee Chapman.
Okay, Chapman, and I'm reading a letter from Jenny McCracken. She couldn't be here because of the child care issues. The residents of Algonquin Township deserve better. And with the current lead in the highway department, the services our tax dollars pay for are being pushed aside due to the mess of political agendas and lawsuits caused by Andrew Gasser. Our township now has a potential shortage of salt, and instead of reaching out to Mike Lesprance or Jim Condon to help our community, the highway commissioner has his lawyer jumped to the courtroom to get his way from a mistake he made from an illegal bid and calls to shut down roads. All these directions are currently being conducted from out of state down south in Mississippi. It's unheard of to me that a highway commissioner would take a vacation during peak times of bad weather, whether it be snow or the floods. While the men in the township stay late at night to work on the roads and deal with his mishaps, Andrew Gasser is not available for comment. Andrew Gasser blocks disgruntled residents from the highway department Facebook page he runs himself. Andrew Gasser blames the trustees for his mistakes while out of state. Andrew Gasser isn't even physically present when the fallout happens from a low amount of salt. My question is, does he even want to be here anymore? An honorable man would not leave his post or his men while aware of the bad weather and salt shortage. Andrew Gasser needs to step aside and let someone who is interested in serving the community in. the job is too much for him, and with his lack of experience or empathy for residents, he should resign when he decides to return from Mississippi. I would like to thank all the road workers for stepping up without recognition to fill in for the highway commissioner's incompetence. I would also like to thank the residents that had to take care of plowing and salting their own roads to make them safe. That's from Jenny McCracken, and I told her I would read that. I stand at the microphone today to help. What a great idea to set up a timeline and explain to the residents, because a lot of residents don't understand. Maybe this is the first time that they've been asked to pay for part of the salt for their non-dedicated road. Your roads are taken care of by a portion of motor fuel tax that comes into the township, as well as part of the township tax. Each subdivision is responsible for half of that money that is due. You were never charged that, or if you were, it was sporadic. And residents in the subdivisions often gave their time and donated their time rather than money to offset the costs of the township to provide those services. Those avenues are still available, but I think we need to educate what we as a board can and cannot do. The road district is a separate government body. We cannot, as Rachel pointed out, we cannot tell them what to do. We audit the bills and we look at every one. So yes, it may take us a little bit longer, but that was one of the things that was going on in the campaign was, why aren't people looking at these bills? Scott brought it up. And so now we are looking at them, every one of them. And it's in our oath that we took to pay the bills that are lawfully presented, and we'll do that. But the township and the road district are separate, and we are doing everything that we can right now. So
thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay, did anyone else want to speak? You're more than welcome to. Okay, thank you for coming and speaking. We have a couple of items for new business, which were approval of transfer of appropriations for the Algonquin Township Road District as follows. And there's a letter that each one of the trustees got from Highway Commissioner Gassler regarding the transfer of appropriations. And he's asking for a transfer of $43,000 to $43,000. Actually, in his letter it said 43, so that's okay. Maintenance equipment line item, it was restored a line item to 100%. There's a second transfer of $3,000 in education and training. There's another line item of $238 for maintenance line item. A fourth transfer for $20,000 in the fuel and lubrication line item due to multiple snowfall events last April and May. Our fuel consumption has been higher than normal. The total amount of money transferred is $23,281, and it's the percentage of my road district budget that says 1.11%, which is well below the 10% upward. Okay, go ahead.
I want to correct to the people that have an agenda. You'll notice that the first delineated transfer says 43,000. That's a typo. It's actually $43.
No, it's 43,000. Well, he put on his cover letter here $43.
Oh.
But then he put in the actual document or his draft of transfer of appropriations, he put $43.
Look at his line item.
So his actual draft says $43, not 43,000, but the cover letter or the agenda says 43,000, and his cover letter says $43.
Yeah. Okay.
So it
Well, then,
appears that he's asking for $43.
Okay. Well, then I'm guilty of making a mistake of, putting the extra zeros in there. With the, on the agenda, because the ordinance only say $43.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because
okay.
otherwise, you see
Okay.
on number 6 of this cover
All right,
letter, it's
so-
just.
So that'd be $43.
If we're gonna handle these as a group, I will make a motion that we approve with that adjusted amount from the transfer of the 4 appropriations. Now, if someone decides they would rather separate them, that's another story, but I believe this is just too small a transfer, plus it's all in-house to get into a tremendous amount of discussion.
I'll second that motion, Dan.
Attorney Kelly, I just have a question. Since this is actually just with the a procedural question, and I hate to nitpick, but are we allowed to go ahead like and make this, take action on this agenda item, even though it's not technically the same agenda item?
No, I think it's listed there. It doesn't need to be
Okay,
specific.
just making
You
sure.
can just say line item transfer,
Okay.
and that would even be specific.
Thank you.
Would you like to make?
Can you repeat that motion?
We have a motion approved. And we have a second?
Yes.
We have a second.
We have a second. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. It's my understanding, Pam, this was FedExed in?
No.
No.
This wasn't the
No.
part, okay. Yeah, that's all I have, thank you. It appears that he's just trying to, and at least the email that I got, and I think the rest of the board got it, he rationalized it, explained it in a way that made sense to me, and I don't see any issues with
To
it.
bring the funds into balance.
Right.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call.
Victor,
Yes,
Chapman,
Yes.
Lawrence,
yes,
Shay,
Yes,
Watson.
Yes. Okay, I'd like to, entertain a motion, to go to adjourn to executive session for pending litigation. We do not anticipate to be long.
right.
Pursuant to do 5 ILCS 122F 2C 1 and 11, pending litigation, appointment of an attorney. We're gonna go into executive session. We don't anticipate it to be like the last meeting where we were up there for 2 hours. But we need to go into, we need a motion to go into executive.
So moved.
second,
Roll call vote.
Victor,
yes,
Chapman,
Yes.
Lawrence,
yes.
Shay, Watson.
Yes.
Do you have an approximate idea so these people?
But it's in
5 minutes.
Yes. And it will come out.